I have with me today my good friend Christine Goad, and the reason I've brought her on is something that I've been noticing about her ever since I met her. Now, I met Christine when she was facilitating I believe it was a course with Anne. Uh, Tell me,
And
Christine.
Gordon.
Anne
And Gordon.
Gordon, of course. And at the time, I thought, oh, she is the sweetest person, and we became friends. And then I discovered what a badass she actually is. Christine challenges herself physically at every opportunity, and she does things you would not believe. I'm going to tell you one little hint, and then I'm going to make Christine tell you the rest of the story. So Christine, 25 years ago, did a bike ride across the entire country on the bike, despite the fact that she had asthma. And there are even more pieces of that story. But Christine was one of the contributors to my first compilation book. You can read quite a bit of her story there. But now she's doing something completely different. And for anyone who wants to be a badass like Christine, she's got something going on later this summer or this
summer.
okay, that you might be able to participate in. So Christine, take it away. Tell people about what you're doing later this summer and what you're doing to prepare for it.
All righty. Well, thank you very much, Cheri. I appreciate all of that. That was very kind of you to introduce me in that way. It is the 25th anniversary of the cross-country bike trip, and I will say that I participated in every mile, but I didn't necessarily ride every mile. I did have asthma and was in the hospital at one point and on a SAG bus at other points. So I didn't ride every mile, but it was a life-changing experience and one that I was not at all prepared for. I was 29, overweight, hadn't had a bike before then. Just decided that this was going to be fun and it was going to change my life. And it did change my life, but it took 20 years basically for me to figure out what the messages from that cross-country bike trip were. And 20 years at the 20-year anniversary of it, I wanted to do something big to kind of commemorate the ride and challenge myself all over again. And I created something called the Surfing Your Edge Experience, which is a week-long nature immersion retreat in Panama. And we went to Panama because Anne Gordon, our mutual friend, was living there at the time. She was an American living there and said, come, the humpback whale mamas are there giving birth in the summertime. So you'll see humpback whales and their babies, and we'll go out and see dolphins, and we'll have, there's all this biodiversity in Panama, and there's great surfing. So bring your people there. So I created the Surfing Your Edge Experience I'm not doing a very good job with this. Basically, I wanted to do something to challenge myself. And I have been afraid of open water pretty much my whole life, and thought that surfing was pretty much the scariest thing that I could do. And it seemed like a really good thing to do to commemorate the cross-country bike trip, which had previously been the scariest thing I'd done. And I decided to take a bunch of people with me and all of us be scared together. So in 2018, we did the first retreat. In 2019, we went back and did it all again, and it was even better. And then in 2020, I was really excited to blow it up and invite a ton of people. And we all know what happened in 2020. So here we are in 2023, and we're finally getting back, and it really is going to be even bigger and better this year. There are daily surf lessons, four daily surf lessons in the water. There's a surf lesson on the beach. And this year we're going to have a photographer who's going to be doing video of you while you're surfing that you'll get to take home and keep, which is a new thing for us. And there's going to be daily yoga. There's going to be some snorkeling around a UNESCO World Heritage Site called Isla Cueva, which is some of the most beautiful snorkeling in the world. It's just going to be an amazing, amazing trip. And I'm inviting women who are looking for a little adventure and a little bit of a way to push themselves in a way that's fun, right? We want to go off and play and learn something new about ourselves and then bring home what we learned and use that in other parts of our lives. I don't necessarily want you doing something super dangerous or something anyway, I want you to have more fun than anything on this trip. Cheri, help me out here. What am I not saying?
You're not talking about your triathlon? Is it a triathlon?
Oh, the triathlon training.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, this is another crazy thing that I do. And I'm not asking any of my participants at the retreat to do any preparation in advance. But if you want to, there are stretches and exercises and things like that that can make it easier to stand up on a surfboard, or that can prepare you for doing a little bit of light yoga. I can help you out with that if you're interested. But me, being me, one of the ways I like to push myself is that I set a big goal. And in this case, the big goal is being able to stand up on a surfboard in 2 months. But in order to get to that big goal, I usually set an even bigger goal that's out beyond it. Because then if I fall short, at least I'll meet the first goal, right? So the goal that I've set out beyond this for the 25th anniversary of the cross-country bike trip is to do a 4-day bike trip in Death Valley in November. And there are 5,000 daily, there's about 5,000 feet of elevation gain each day. So you're climbing a good portion of the day. And I live at sea level. So it's hard to get practice training where I live. So I decided to go back to triathlon training where I can run up hills and I can swim with extra drag in the water and do all kinds of things to simulate climbing a mountain while I'm also getting back on my bike. So yes, I am doing triathlon training to get ready for a longish distance bicycle trip in November to help me prepare for a surf trip in August.
Who does that? I mean, frankly, my dear, I'm still terrified of open water, and I'm terrified of your retreat, although as I understand it, it's not as scary as I make it out to be in my mind. You don't have to stand up on the surfboard. You don't even have to get in the water if that challenges you too much.
Absolutely. It's on a super beginner beach. It's a sand beach that is super shallow for a very long way. So we're really never walking into water that's more than about chest height at the most. And then you get on your board and send yourself back toward the shore. And yeah, you can ride in on your belly. You can sit up, we're never in over our heads. And we've got certified surf instructors who know who's coming, who are older women, who, this is just something we're doing for fun and not something that we expect to, do regularly. And they're patient and lovely people who are going to help us. Plus we're doing, like I said, I did it because I was terrified. And on the very first day of my very first retreat, I threw a little fit. Because it was raining and there was lightning out over the ocean. And my instructor was saying, okay, we're going to paddle out and we're going to ride in on our bellies. And I'm like, those waves look too big. And I'm like stomping my foot. Seriously, I was stomping my foot on the sand and I'm not going. And my surf instructor was like, but if you're not standing on the sand, you're not going to get, even if there is a lightning strike, you won't get electrocuted. And I'm like, but I don't know how to surf. And of course I'm going to be standing on the sand. So I had my little fit and we still went out. We did our thing. We came in riding on our bellies. We weren't, they didn't expect us to stand up on the first day. And it was a lot of fun. And I was really glad to get it out of the way. But believe me, there's no one more afraid of water than I am. And like, I had to learn how to snorkel. I told my sister I was going to learn to snorkel. And she's like, you have to learn to snorkel? And I'm like, yes, I have to learn. And there's
no
this
one got electrocuted, right? Tell us the rest of the story.
Nobody got electrocuted. It was just a light rain and the lightning was far away and we all survived it and had a great time. And we all stood up the very next day. And the oldest person I've had go with us and stand up on a surfboard turned 70 on our trip. So, and the youngest person that's gone with me was 49. So we've got quite a range. And all swim abilities, and a lot of people aren't even necessarily afraid of the surfing piece or the water piece. Sometimes it's just a matter of flying to a different country or flying to a country they've never thought of going to before, or even leaving their kids for the first time. My very first client to sign up was scared because she had never left her 15-year-old son alone before. She was a single mom and didn't know what she was going to do about that. So there are all kinds of fears that people play with on this trip, and they're not all the same, but we're all dealing with our own things and learning about ourselves and then going home and using that for good. I
am so inspired by you and by all the challenges you set for yourself. That's really an amazing way to live. If I ever decide to go on one of your trips with you next year, maybe, I will be the oldest person that's ever gone with you. I'm well beyond the 70. But I can't swim either. And can't hold my breath. I'll be the one wakeboarding on my belly.
There you go. Yeah, there are lots of ways to do this trip, and it doesn't have to all be about the surfing. We're gonna, it's a fun way to get away, to see yourself. I think one of the great things about travel is that you get to meet yourself all over again, right? You get to learn different things about yourself and remember who you are, and just that, and just meeting new people. Exactly. Yeah. So just getting away, meeting new people, seeing yourself in a different light, being out in the rainforest, seeing some, being with the whales and the dolphins, and there's actually capuchin monkeys on one of the islands that we stop on, and there's so much to it. It's not just about the surfing, but there's plenty of challenge, whatever challenge level you're at. And I just think it's a great way to re-envision who you are, right? To remember who you wanted to be, who you are underneath all of the other things.
Right. Well, I would like to let people know how they can contact you. You do have a few spots left for this upcoming trip, correct?
I do.
Is there still time to get a passport if they don't have one?
If you expedite it, there is time.
Okay.
And actually, I meant to ask you a question before we went live about how you want me to send people to it.
Well,
I've got
after we close it down, you can message me a link if you have one, and I'll put it in the comments under the Facebook Live. Okay. Would that work? Okay.
That works.
Okay. We were so prepared, folks.
We had several days to prepare, but
we knew it would be a fun experience because we like it when we get together. And so here we are in our unpreparedness, but we will get you a link so that if you want to know more, you can get a hold of Christine and find out.
Yeah, and I've got some amazing bonuses for the first 5 people to sign up,
Oh.
and we're getting very close to that. So some amazing bonuses for you, and I really would love to meet you. And even if this isn't a great fit, I'd still like to talk about what you've got planned and maybe help you take the next step.
Okay. Well, I won't take more of your time because I know you are a busy person and you have training to do and meetings to do. So we'll sign off and I will get that link in the comments below. Thanks for being with me, Christine. I knew I would have fun with you.
Thank you, Cheri. I really appreciate the opportunity.
You're
It's always
welcome.
lovely to see you.
We'll see you later.